What's up, BrarHive? It's my top Brar, the guy who made a music video as soon as he got COVID and did absolutely nothing else after that. Today we have a doctor who got COVID. He's been on the show like twice. Has it been twice before? Twice,
The
and
trilogy.
he's here for the trilogy. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, man. My name's Harjas. Last name's Grewal. Family medicine resident in Winnipeg, and trying to live the dream as much as possible.
All right. So first off, you got COVID. How did it feel?
Sucked. It sucked, man. I was like absolutely exhausted for 2 weeks. I would sleep like 13, 14 hours a day, take like an hour, 2 hour nap in the middle of the day. I had like fevers every day. My whole body hurt, low back, legs. Had no appetite, just terrible diarrhea if I did eat. Um, yeah, that's it. But I still have my taste and smell, weirdly enough.
Oh, you had your taste and smell and all that stuff.
Yeah. I had like 2 days where my taste and smell felt different, but like it was there. It's hard to explain. But yeah, I never lost it.
Okay, because like when me and my mom found out we had COVID, that's the first thing we realized. Okay, we don't have a taste or a smell. Because I don't know, my mom
Mm.
was eating something. She's like, I don't smell this, and then I smelled it. I don't smell it either. We tried tasting it. We couldn't taste it. We're like, shit. Okay, book the test.
Yeah, man. It's that's how I know like a few people were like the only thing they had was they couldn't smell. And then at least and then they were fine too. Like the whole time they isolated, like they just had a little vacation where they just couldn't smell. And I was like, damn, like I got my money's worth.
Oh, it hurts like a bitch, eh?
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh well, at least like, okay. So we both had it now. So are we? Oh, wait. So this is help me with this common misconception. So we both had it. So like, are we now kind of immune to like the next strain, or like, what's up with this now?
So I mean, the thing is, COVID's so new, right? Like you could argue we haven't really been in a pandemic since March. So I remember reading some stuff where they thought you were like immune maybe for only 3 months, and then it didn't last. And then now sometimes I see stuff that's saying 6 months. And so who knows how long the immunity completely lasts. I know immunity is a fancy word, but think about when you're a kid, you get a bunch of shots and then you don't get those diseases like ever.
Yeah.
And so immunity can sometimes last for your life and sometimes it can last for shorter periods. And it sucks because COVID's so new. So we don't know. We literally just don't have the time. Like there might be a batch of people who never get the vaccine and had COVID and they remain immune in 2070 or whatever. Never know.
So like, yeah, it's because it's so new. So like, there's not really that much information out on it still, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's the only thing. But I mean, I think it's safe to say we have some level of immunity for some period of time.
So you're saying that we are built different.
No, I would not
Fuck.
say we're different. No, that's too extreme, man. I'm sorry to be a buzzkill,
All right, that means I have to change the bio on the BrarHive Instagram page. I literally have
but
it say that we are structured like our atoms are structured atypically. Just because I got COVID, I'm like, I'm better than everyone now.
no,
All right, so the vaccine is like making its rounds.
yeah.
First off, are they planting microchips inside of us?
They're not planning microchips. I would call it impossible to put a microchip in one of those little vials and then somehow put it in a syringe and then somehow put it through this tiny thin needle and then somehow into your shoulder. I just don't see it's possible. I don't think Bill Gates wants to control Meta Brar sitting in Calgary.
I don't know, man. Maybe he does. Maybe it's all part of his master plan, you know? Like, because hey, Microsoft has been going down because Apple's increasing higher and higher and higher. So this could all be part of his plan to like take over the market, you know?
But then I don't know. Then he's got to tell people, hey, man, my company's more valuable. I put microchips in literally everybody.
That'd be genius as hell, though. Hella genius.
I don't know. How would you feel? Imagine if you had a microchip and they could just like track where you were, but also it was sick because like there was no such thing as a wallet or ID or anything. Like it was just all there all the time.
I would, if it was something like that, I'd be 100% down with. Like, I talked about like I think I talked to my buddy a little while ago. Like, if they give us a stuff I saw this thing like basically like it was just a meme like you have a phone implanted here at all times. I'm like, yo, that'd be sick. I don't have to carry something like this around. I can just be like, oh, what's up? Music right there. Boom. Just like if I need to pay for something, just hit with my
You only got one
forearm.
hand though. Man, texting would be so hard. Like you only got one hand.
No, I feel like if it's in my body, I can just go with my mind, you know?
Mm,
Just like if someone's texting me, yes, what's up? It's all in my head. And then
uh, maybe
and
one day. Maybe one day. Reading minds. Now you're talking about reading minds.
yes. Yes, I am. I'm a big sci-fi man. All right. So how is everything going in Winnipeg right now? Is like chilling there? Or how's COVID?
I mean, we're doing better. Like I think we were one of the worst places in the country, if not the worst, for a bit there. I think like it was a late November, maybe it was earlier than that. And then we went into what we called Code Red, super hard restrictions, closed all the restaurants, closed all the non-essential stores, closed the barbers, and like even Walmart, Costco, Superstore, like they couldn't sell clothes and stuff. Like they couldn't sell what was deemed non-essential. So like even now, like I just went and bought groceries and like they had all the clothes. You couldn't buy towels. I was like, man, that's pretty borderline. That people need towels, right? But towels were deemed non-essential there. Like they had like the yellow caution tape, like as a crime scene,
Fuck you guys,
everywhere.
air dry. Go on
Yeah.
your
So
balconies.
oh man, well no, I think they just wanted to use up. That's what all the toilet paper shortages were from. Man, people were drying their bodies with toilet paper. Uh, Well, we've gotten better. We've gotten better. I think we're gonna loosen up some restrictions here tomorrow, actually. So things have improved. So overall, like trending in the right direction. Hopefully, stays that way.
I wish I could say that about Alberta. We are like one of the worst. We are the worst in Canada right now. And I think from what I read, we're Alberta, like just like Calgary itself, like just like with our population, I think we're top 10 for one of the worst in the entire world. I saw something like that on like World Health or something.
Yeah, I did not know that. I
Yo,
honestly, oh, that's pretty surprising to top like the UK and the United States right now.
yeah, we're getting our ass kicked right now. Like we had our restrictions, like we had restrictions kind of is like all the non-essential stuff is closed down and stuff, like restaurants are open and everything's still chilling and stuff, but you couldn't go outside. But now they eased up on that, even though cases are still rising.
Mm.
Uh like what's it, 21st or 22nd? 22nd? Yeah, so yes, so they were supposed to do like a little bit, they were supposed to open up everything yesterday, kind of, but they're like, nah, bro. Yo, fuck that. You guys are staying shut
It
down.
pulled out last second. It pulled out last second.
But they eased on restrictions, so now we can like go outside, kind of.
Weird.
It's I don't know. It's really weird what's going on.
Tough, man. It's like politics and health clashing, and then there's like this economy coming in, and then there's like mental health coming in, and then there's like kids in school coming in, and then there's like all these other arguments, just and it's just like a kerfuffle, and like some people sat down one day and were just like, this is essential, this is not essential,
Yeah,
this is the first thing we're gonna do, and we're gonna close this, and movie theaters and barber. Like for example, here on Saturday, barbers and like salons and like some non-regulated health, like probably like massage and stuff, is reopening. But then like restaurants aren't. So like I feel like some of the restaurant people can be choked that like barbers are open, but they're
yeah.
not. And I'm like, well, how do you even decide? Like getting a haircut, like it's pretty close to essential. Like, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It's like we all could just let it flow for a while.
Yeah, like I'm a martial artist and I work as an instructor, but our studio isn't allowed to be open. But yeah, the barbershops are open, the spas, my mom's place is open, and all that stuff. But which makes no sense because like barbers are just as close to us as like that. But we are still allowed to like play basketball outdoors and we're allowed to like play hockey outdoors. So I'm trying to figure out like what the difference is between that. Like, what's the difference between like just being outside and playing hockey with your boys and just punching each other in the face in a martial arts studio or something, you know?
Well, the outside part's important, right? Like that was how things were, in the summer too, right? Like everyone was bumping patios, everyone was like just expanding patios. Patios were taking up lanes of the road
Yeah.
because the transmission's just less when you're outside, right? So there's that part of it that factors in. But I know it's tough, man, because it's like what you're doing is good for people's physical health. It's good for people's mental health.
Yeah.
And like it's possible to do it with masks and like you could do certain things and screen, make sure people don't have symptoms, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. Like, how do you do it? Like, I don't even know what they do in gym class in school these days because like none of that stuff's technically allowed. But like, is it allowed because it's gym class? I don't know.
You know what I kind of do? I would kind of like get one of my little cousins to have him on this podcast. Like, she's like 8. I'm like, yo, what do you guys actually do in school? Just tell me straight up. What do you guys actually do? Like, you guys just walk around with masks, no gym class, don't do anything. I just don't
I
understand why did they open up schools. That made no sense because like I understand like universities opening up because like adults are a little bit smarter, but kids are not smart people. Like I remember when I was in like grade 5, grade 6, me and everyone just go up to each other. Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? Grabbing the other guy in the face and everything, just cuz. So I'm like, how are kids gonna control themselves? You know?
You know what? Like, I will say this. Like, I'm always shocked at like when kids come. Like, I did a month of working in the children's emergency here, and then like in clinic, like they're gonna rocking masks. Like, like 5-year-old kid, 4-year-old kids got a mask on, and they like keep it on the whole time, and they don't pull at it, and they're not like, like they're pretty good with it. But like the school opening thing, I mean, there's so many layers to that. Like
Yeah.
childcare, it's sort of like everyone has to go to work. So like this is like the kids equivalent. So they don't want to miss out on learning and supports and like I don't know. It was just there's a lot of layers I think to making that decision. And like I think probably the majority of people wanted them open and happening.
Yeah.
But again, it's like what's essential, right? So it's like they deemed in-person school like essential and not like online school. Like I don't know. Like you're in university right now. Like, are you just 100% online?
I am 100% online, and it is the worst thing ever, man. Professors have
Yeah.
stopped giving a fuck. Professors
Yeah.
like I have 4. I'm taking 4 classes this semester. 3 of them are asynchronous, which the prof has just like posted up he's post every lecture. He posted them all like in December and just said, learn all this. You have a quiz on these days and your finals on this day. Just go. And I tried emailing this guy, asked him a question. He says he's out of office.
He doesn't even check his email at home, my guy.
He does not. Our whole class, because every class has a Discord page now, and we're like, guys, what the fuck is going on in this class? Like, I have no idea. Like, I don't know, because like the UK virus, like, what's up with that? Like the new UK strain.
Yeah, I think when you say what's new with COVID, man, it's all the variants. Like, I feel like December was like vaccine or like whatever, like late November, December vaccine. And then all of a sudden it became about variants. And so the UK variant, because like it's so weird. Like a virus technically isn't living,
Mm-hmm.
but it has genetic material
Yeah.
and that material can be just like in other living species. And so if it replicates enough times, then all of a sudden you get variants that come out. That's why every year you're supposed to get a flu shot because there's technically a new variant of influenza. um so the variant in the UK, they were like, hey, like this one is just like more like transmissible. So like if someone in my house has it, I'm more likely to get it if they got the UK variant than if they had a different variant. And so that was the original thing. And then today I looked and it's like Boris Johnson saying that also people are dying at a higher rate if they have the UK variant, which I was like, oh damn. Um, and then there's like Brazil variant, and there's all these other variants. And I think that's just sort of part of the natural process with viruses over time. Um, so far, it sounds like we're all good. The vaccine's got everything covered. It's like a mini alarm, but I think that would probably be the biggest alarm if all of a sudden, the vaccines that we have, like technically we have two right now, Pfizer and Moderna, but then we're supposed to have a third one. Johnson and Johnson should be out at some point here. Um, and we're all good with those three right now between those three, but hopefully it's not a situation where in a couple months we're like, oh no, there's another variant, because then it's like, how are we ever going to escape this pandemic then?
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
so
know. I'm scared, man. I'm scared like that just like oh how long do you think from your opinion, like as someone who's like actually working with all this stuff, how how long do you think we're gonna be like living in this setting?
so basically you're asking me, when are we back to full on normal?
Yes.
Okay, where are the masks? We're gonna garbage, and there's just the word restriction is like never used again. Honestly, maybe I'm a tad pessimistic, but it might be like a year from now.
A year?
It
Honestly,
honestly,
that's
I
sooner than I expected.
I honestly think like we got to start thinking like spring 2022 or something.
So basically, you're saying I'm gonna graduate on Zoom.
You're gonna be walking the stage in your room virtually.
Mata Brar is graduating, and that's it. That's what's gonna happen.
That's it, and everyone's gonna get up and do that, and then your family will get a moment. They'll all clap from home and their different rooms. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's gonna be a grad.
That's
Um,
just fuck. See,
uh,
that's actually better than what I was expecting though, because like I was with my friends, and I was thinking, I was like, I don't know, man. This might go for like a couple years more. That's what I was thinking, because like seeing how people are still kind of like stupid about it. A lot of people are stupid about it. So yeah, I don't know.
like it's not even that. Like it's not even like whatever, people not following guidelines and gathering and having parties, or like whatever, not wearing masks, and like I don't even think it's necessarily that. Like I just think there's just aspects of life that are going to continue. And so people who are quote unquote essential, like when they're at work, they're at risk like all the time. Obviously people who work in like other even higher risk settings, right? You think about like healthcare workers and things like that. And so there's always going to be like some of this transmission, like there's always going to be a case, and I don't know, it's just like it's such a weird dichotomy, because like at some point we're just going to have to be like comfortable with like a certain amount of deaths and loosen restrictions, because it's like if you were like, we care about every single person, like you would just put like strict lockdown measures all the time and be aiming for zero deaths like every day, and like we're comfortable with it not being zero every day already. So anyways, I know you're asking about like people not following the rules and stuff, but like yeah, I don't know, I feel like even if we were all like strict with the rules, like it'd probably make a huge difference, but I don't know, I still think there'd probably be some COVID spreading.
Yeah, so COVID is probably gonna be like another like I think the best case scenario would be like COVID is gonna end up being like the next like influenza. Like you
Man,
just get it.
hopefully. No, dude, best case scenario is that like it's like Spanish flu. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Oh
never heard from again. I think that's best case scenario.
yeah.
That happened once, so hopefully like happens again. I don't know. Right? Like there's been like, honestly, if you think about it, like remember like SARS and like Ebola, like like they're kind of there, but they're not really there, right? Like they kind
Yeah, like
of.
once in a while I'll see something on like online like, oh, this one dude in Mexico got like H1N1 or something, someone like the swan flu or like bird flu or something.
Swine flu, yeah, Zika virus. Remember that? Like, there's honestly been a lot, even just like in our lifetime. but it's just never been to this extreme, right? Like remember Zika, people weren't traveling to like Mexico and Brazil and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like oh, I think I might have asked you this last time. I don't remember. Like, what is the difference between like was Ebola and H1N1, were they as big as like risks as COVID was, or like were they on the same level, or like was like not even close? Like, or is it just like how like they prepared for it, or like how they straight up said, okay, this is a big problem, let's fight this right now. Like with COVID, like Trump was against it until he actually got it. So shit like that.
I think so. I don't have the statistics in front of me in terms of like deaths or whatever, but the difference between what we're in now and like Ebola and Zika, etc., was that one, they luckily stayed in like those specific areas. So it was more of like these like epidemics in small areas and not necessarily a pandemic, a global pandemic that we're in. So that was one big difference. I think the other is is like with COVID, you can have no symptoms and all you have to do is breathe around people and those people can get it.
Yeah.
And Ebola and Zika, I don't think were like that. Sort of pre my medical training, but I'm pretty sure Ebola was only like when the person had symptoms and you had to, I think there was like, it was contact. Whereas this is more like airborne. So I think those are the subtle differences there. Um, but I will admit, I'm not an expert enough about that.
Yeah, no problem.
Mhm.
All right. Well, oh, yeah, and we talked about this last time, but that was like before, like just like the beginning pandemic, and but now, so it's been like it's like what, in 2 months it's gonna be a year of COVID.
Yeah, man. It was like, here's the crazy, like I came back from vacation in March, like start of March. I feel like it was like March 12th or 13th or something when it was like a week. I just remember it being like a week where like Monday was like normal or something. Tuesday was like threats of lockdown.
It was in Calgary.
Wednesday,
It was like
like,
because you were in Calgary, like when every like basically the day everything shut down. I think you were in Calgary.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
like literal time. I was in Calgary too, right? Like
Yeah.
before that I was in LA, man. Like I was in LA, right? I was in LA, and then all of a sudden they were like, I was in, I go to Calgary, and then I'm hearing about like if you travel outside of Canada, like you have to isolate, and then I come back and I'm like, I'm at work because my holidays are now over. So I come back and I'm like, do I need to isolate? Like this is the day I came back from the United States. I've been in Canada since. And people I was with were like, no, I think you're okay. Like, cause you came back from USA before, but like I hadn't been back for 14 days. Like I was a couple of days short of 14. So I was like, do I like stay a couple of days at home? Like, what do you want to do? And like, man, this was pre everything. Like there was nobody rocking a mask anywhere, right? Like this was just like everybody was clueless. And I was on like a rotation where they really kind of needed like the human power,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't like educational as much as it was like, okay, you're a body here, you can do work for us. And so I think that might have been a bit of the motivation to have me there. But yeah, man, crazy times, crazy times. I was just thinking to myself, like, I don't remember when I was like, oh snap, I should wear a mask to the grocery store. Or like, like I can't even really remember when. I don't even remember when we started wearing masks in the hospital.
Yeah. Like I remember, like it was like I was at school like the day everything shut down. Like I was in class, and then like the class ended. Me and my friend were walking to my car, and she's like, "Hey, uh, check your UFC email." I'm like, "Okay." I check my email, and like it was literally as soon as we get in my car, it's like, "Yeah, the city's shut down. Like the university shut down. Don't come back here. Go away." And we're like, "What the fuck?" And then
Yeah.
that was the hardest I've ever had to get out of school, because like I'm on like because we were in the most crowded parkade at the university. people are like crowding like into the park to get to their cars. Like I was on the first floor of the parkade. It took me 20 minutes to get out. It was,
No way.
and even now, like
It's
so
nuts.
it's been a year since I've been at the university, and like only like one or two classes are like in person still, and that's just like labs, like mandatory labs, like for chemistry and stuff.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. I guess how do you do that over Zoom?
How would med school work online? Because like, is that even happening online? Like, would you know?
So med school, at least like I can't speak to every medical school, but UBC, it seemed like it was almost split in half. First 2 years was more lecture stuff, so you can just do that over Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
But years 3 and 4 are like primarily clinical, like it completely switches, right? You're doing rotations. So I think like all the hospital rotations would be going on. It'd all be like the out of hospital stuff that would be hard because everyone's doing a lot of phone appointments, right? And video appointments.
Yeah.
So you don't get the experience. I'm sure they're still like offering the rotations to people, but it's just probably limited. And then the hard thing would have been like when we were just like learning, like what is listening, like how do you listen to someone's heart? And like there'd be four of us in like a fairly small room, and there'd be someone who'd be like a volunteer, and then we'd have a real doctor there, and they'd be telling us. And like now it's like you can't really do that. So I don't know how they're learning like those specific skills. Or again, if they're just like, yeah, this is essential. And so they just wear masks and they do it the same way we used to do it, just with masks on. Like, I'm not sure. I'm assuming they're probably just trying to push through like the guidelines and the stuff that has to be in person. They just say wear a mask, and then the lectures, everyone's probably sitting at home in their pajamas watching it.
Yeah. Because like this like the final like year. This is like one of the final years of my degree, and I even during Zoom classes, I don't give a shit. Like I'm not listening half time. Like literally right before this, I had one of my lectures for Chinese politics, and whole time I'm looking at memes the whole time.
Yeah, man, it's hard. Like obviously that happens in person class too, but it's just way easier at home. There's like you got your TV, you got your like phone. There's like people. You just like get up, eat. Like you just go to, I don't know. There's just like a million things to do. At least when you're like in class, you're like, okay, I'll use my phone, and eventually you get tired of that. So maybe you're just like, I should pay attention to class.
Yeah, like I my biggest fear is that like I don't know why. Just my biggest fear is like a couple years from now, like I'm gonna have like my arm gets cut off somehow because I did some dumb shit all the time, or like I break something. I'm in the hospital and I just see some doctor my age, and he's like, yeah, so I got my PhD online,
On Zoom, I've never seen a patient before.
and I would run. I'm like, all right, cool, just give me stitches. We'll just watch YouTube together. Let's do this together, man.
Oh, that's too funny. No, man, they won't let that happen. Honestly, like I get that concern. There's probably some public concern, like, wait, are all like the doctors, nurses, therapists, like, are they all learning? Like, are they like, are they just like not learning stuff because they're not seeing people? But instead, it's just like you were doing all the same work. You're just like wearing a mask, right? Especially the emergency stuff. And even like sometimes now it turns into 2 appointments. Like someone might call and be like, man, my shoulder hurts, and I talk to them and I'm like, okay, I can't really tell. So you need to make another appointment where you come in and then we'll actually like examine your shoulder.
Oh,
Um, yeah, so we'll still do that type of stuff, right? So it hasn't been completely lost. I don't think the next generation of healthcare workers are going to be inadequate.
all right, good. Because I have a couple of friends that are going to medical school in a few years, and I don't know if I trust them with like fixing me.
I don't know, man. It's crazy how much things change. It is crazy how much things change, though. I will say that, my friend. You know, you'll be surprised. Maybe if they go away from Calgary and come back, you won't even recognize them.
Yeah. So like so like when we had our first podcast, like all the sports were done, but UFC was still going on.
Fight Island, right?
Yeah. And now they're back. Like all the sports are back now. I think all of them are back.
Yeah, they're legit all back.
Yeah. So the precaution like the bubble, like the NBA bubble was insane. Nobody got COVID. It was basically a perfect success. But obviously a lot of players don't want to do that again because like it sucks. No family, mental health, all that kind of stuff. Um, like, do you think like that'd be an actual like? Do you think every sport should like do something like that instead? Because I see I'm watching some NBA games. Like there's fans in the arenas. Even NFL, like they have full
Yeah,
fans.
yeah. There's a couple hockey teams with fans. Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
how like how come like how is the UFC still going on, man? That's like the closest contact sport there is. And no one's
Oh,
and they
they're
haven't
getting
gone to
tested, right? They like. I'm pretty sure a few fights have had the fighters change when someone tests positive for COVID, right?
yeah, but like still it's like because they haven't stopped at all, which is like insane. Like Dana White is on his shit.
Oh yeah, he just I don't know, man. Like he did a good job, but like they had so many things that go in their favor. It's only two people,
Yeah.
right? So you test them, and then you've already got your little mini bubble right there. So I think for UFC it was really easy. Plus, like you fight like max 3 times a year, right? So it's not like you play a game every second night. So he's just like, okay, you got to fly out to this place. You're gonna get tested on like boom, boom, boom. You got to test negative the whole time, or you're screwed. And then plus for that person, they're like, okay, I'm not getting paid, right? So they're probably like strictly with the rules, etc. Whereas the NBA and stuff, it's just like you play every second day, and there was no way these guys would do a bubble again because, like, man, they spent like 4 months like in a hotel room, and the protocols were tough. It wasn't even like, oh, let's all hang out as buddies. It was like, no, like sit in your own room kind of thing all day. So,
Yeah, I think the first
like,
2 weeks from what I saw the bubble was like you have to stay in your room. If you leave, you are getting fined.
yeah, right. And they had the snitch line and everything, but like,
I forgot about that.
yeah, like I think they're trying to do their best to make it work. I think they know people are going to test positive, and there's going to be these mini outbreaks in the teams, and they just like design the schedule to be able to like make up some games, um, at whatever point they can, and like that's like that they're going to live with that kind of thing, um, and they've got like they've like to some extent they have like more stringent rules than the rest of us just because they get tested a whole bunch.
Yeah.
But also like yeah, they're doing things not allowed, like doing playing sports inside, and all the traveling, and like again, definition of essential, like are sports really essential, right?
Yes
Like
and no. I
so it's tough. Like I
yeah.
bet other people in the entertainment, why can't we why can't we perform whatever it might be, and then sports. So it's yeah, I don't know. It's just it's it's a gray zone. I think the leagues are all doing their best. Governments are sort of doing their best. I think for the most part, people are really
Yeah. Yeah, just do what you can until like and just try and like survive basically, right?
honestly. I just hope everyone like plays by the like protocols of the league, and so there's no like there's as few outbreaks as possible, and that's it.
All right. And I saw you talk about this on Twitter. I gotta ask you about this. So, wait, which NFL player got like rocked the other day? It was like a massive.
Mahomes, man,
Yes,
Patrick Mahomes.
yes. So like, uh, because your whole thing on Twitter is like you analyze these injuries. What did it look like straight up? Like,
Man, so like okay, here's the deal. Technically, you like can't say it's a concussion by video because it could be the randomest little thing, and it like could be a concussion, and it could be like the biggest punch to the face, and the person doesn't have a concussion for whatever reason. And so that and from that aspect it's hard, but like when you watch him like stumble to get up and like you
yeah,
see his face, you're just like, dude, you're concussed. And then there was all this, and then they said he wasn't coming back to the game because of a concussion, and then all of a sudden throughout the week they're like maybe it was like when people faint, when they see blood, it was like the same sort of thing because like the player sort of touched his nerve, or maybe like cut off the blood supply for a second, like being put to sleep in the UFC. I wasn't buying it. I guess technically it's possible, and like I'm definitely wrong just as much as I'm right when I do these like video analyses. But man, like when it comes to concussions, I just feel like they're dodging, like they're just trying to dodge that so that they can just get him to play Sunday and make sure, like, you know, it's because it's a big game, right? The winner
Yeah.
goes to Super Bowl. So I want to make sure he's there and he can play. Like I saw this meme. And, you know, I know everyone's seen it. It's like a really old security guard at a music festival, and he's like just waving his hands, like he's not even really patting people down. Someone's like, "Yo, that's the concussion protocol for Mahomes." They're just pushing him through. Like that's I don't know. That's a weird one, but I don't know. I think they're not releasing the truth.
Yeah. Okay, one thing so I saw a lot of people say this. So like if LeBron gets the vaccine, do you think that will be something that like promotes all other people to get vaccines? Because like LeBron is like the most influential person in the world right now, basically.
I know. I don't know, man. Like this one's tough for me because like is celebrities posting pictures of themselves getting the vaccine, like does that really change people's minds, like from being like anti-vax to like, oh, I gotta go get it now?
Yeah, like
Like,
personally for me, I don't give a shit on what half the
yeah,
celebrities do. But like, there's people that like are so invested in like celebrities' lives. Like I have people like I have friends like on Snap every day who are just like whose literal thing every day is like just snapping like, oh my god, guys, this Taylor Swift did this. She's such an icon. I'm like, what? Did I ask?
the thing is, the flip side is like it doesn't hurt. It's like LeBron posts a picture, it does no harm. And like whatever, even if it changes one person's mind, an Instagram post costs like nothing.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
like,
Kylie Jenner gets paid like $1 million per Instagram post.
no, I meant like cost to society or cost to LeBron. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
right? Like it's just like literally a zero loss in any way. One person who wasn't going to get is going to get vaccinated now. And I think that's huge. I think that is. So it's like whatever, man. Like I guess keep posting them. Like there's nothing to lose here. Um,
So wait,
at least
what's
at least from what I can see. Maybe I'm missing the full picture.
speak about the vaccine, the distribution for that. So like, how's that going? Because like, I know some people that have already gotten it. I haven't yet. So like, how is it like spread out to like who gets it? Because I feel like that wasn't clear.
Yeah. So in Canada, every province has its own rules. Like for example, there's people who are like same level of training as me, same age as me, and they've gotten the vaccine in different provinces. And like I haven't because I don't meet the criteria here in Manitoba. Here they definitely defined it by where you specifically work, like ICU emergency being like priority and long-term cares. And but also how old you are. So first they kind of started with like over 60 and then like over 55 and then over 50. So they haven't worked down to my age group yet. Um, and so like what happened is it's like I'm not a business major, but basically this is a huge supply chain. Like this is the
Yeah.
world's biggest supply chain. Pfizer has, I don't even know what you want to call them, like plants or like basically labs. Like they have areas where they develop the vaccine. They are located throughout the world, and every single country wants this vaccine. And so then they have to figure out not just like based on geography, but also just like the size, how much each one produces, you know, things like that. They have to then distribute it. And then you have to use someone to distribute it. And then when you distribute it, like even Canada itself, it's like, okay, you have to decide how much to divvy up to each area, like what city. And then on top of it, they got to be like super cold. There's special freezers. It's like a massive logistical thing. And like this kind of the first time for anybody who's alive. Like I don't think we've ever had like a thing that, I don't know, maybe iPhones or something. I don't know. Like I can't really think of like anything that is just like in that high of demand. Like and it's like a couple companies. and like I don't know how many labs located where, and then they're trying to get it to every single human being. Just like how COVID is like in the vicinity of every human being, they're trying to get this vaccine into that vicinity. Except the vaccine doesn't just fly through the air.
Speaking of what you said about the business thing, so like, so like, are hospitals like, are they paying individually for the vaccines, or is like the province like, yo, just give us a shit ton of them or some of that?
I think the federal government, I think Trudeau was just like, give us a shit ton.
Yeah, because
Uh,
I saw someone like a Rob Ford or like yeah, Rob Ford. It was so like
yeah,
I
yeah.
will literally drive to the States and I will steal a bunch of this shit and come back in my car.
Yeah, because he was saying how I think there's a plant like very close to Ontario and Michigan, I think, and he
Mhm.
was just like, help us out, like give us some of it, because right now I believe everything from Pfizer. I don't know about Moderna, but everything from Pfizer is coming from Europe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I believe everything that we have in Canada is coming from Europe. Um, so like yeah, I don't blame him for being like, man, like I'll literally go drive across. Like I'm the same man. Like I will literally go drive across too. Like I will go wherever. Like I will hop on a plane and I will go to anywhere if it means like getting the vaccine and getting back. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's gonna be tough. They got to ramp up the production. They got to get it out. And the other thing is like the very last stage. Like you have to thaw the vaccine and then you can't refreeze it. So if it gets thawed and like you don't come to your appointment because like unfortunately you got in a car accident or God knows what happens, or you just last second decide not like whatever happens,
Just toss it out.
yeah, like it goes to waste. And so some places doses have gone to waste. Other places they'll like make an announcement and they'll be like, we have X, like we have 4 doses that are gonna go to waste unless you come. And like random people have just like flown, ran over and like gotten shot. So, but I don't think that's how we're doing it here in Winnipeg. But I know in BC at least, they'll like make an announcement and say we have extra doses, and like you can come get your shot. Doesn't matter, no restrictions. Don't want it to go to waste.
Yeah. Okay, and I think one of the last questions I have. So what's actually in this vaccine? Because like I see people that literally like, okay, so there's microchips in the shit. There's like plants. There's like a bunch of shit. Like, are they actually like dosing you with like tiny little like hints of COVID for this one?
Well, there's microchips mixed with vodka. That's what it actually is.
Ah, yes, the Putin idea.
No, I believe yeah. So it's the oh man, it's it's the like some of this like genetic material in a sense, mRNA, which might sound like nothing to someone who's
I
never
remember that from Biology 30.
messenger RNA, right? So to be honest, again, not like an immunologist, I'm not a lab person, so I don't know all the other logistics, but I'm sure there's like a little bit of like some salt sort of thing, a little bit of sodium, potassium, few things, and then there's probably some sort of like solution, and then there's probably something in there to keep it viable and functional, from the point it's made in the lab to the point it gets shipped to whatever corner of the world and gets thawed and then put in someone's arm.
All right, that's
Yeah, man.
pretty sick. All right, last question. Who do you have winning tomorrow, McGregor or Poirier?
I'll be watching. I'm not a huge UFC guy. I like McGregor. I like McGregor the fighter. Like I really like McGregor. McGregor the person. I keep hearing about negative news sometimes. So I don't know. But McGregor the fighter, like I love it. I love the swagger. I love everything about it. I saw some clips from the weigh-in. Poirier is gonna win though. I think. I don't know
Thank
why.
you, thank you.
I don't know why. I think McGregor. I don't know. He's been drinking too much proper 12. Like I don't know if he's. I just don't know if he's the same McGregor anymore, man. I don't know. Like here's the thing. Khabib like dismantled it. Like Khabib destroyed everything we thought of McGregor. Like he took McGregor from here to here, man.
Khabib
And
is
then,
a goat. He's a goat.
but then McGregor comes back and he busts out these shoulders. Like I don't like. I know nothing about MMA. That's a terrible, terrible reenaction of what McGregor did. But busted out these shoulders. and it was Cowboy Cerrone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and beats Cowboy Cerrone in like 0.28 of a second, like literally
Yeah, but
0.28.
Cowboy is also like 40 years old.
Cowboy's also like 75. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like 75. He came in with a cane. Like he came into the ring with a cane. Like like McGregor's beating up senior citizens. So this is kind of like I feel like it's kind of his first real fight,
In a long
and
time.
I don't know if it's the McGregor that's back. Like,
I've never liked McGregor. Like I've always hated this dude.
yeah,
So I told him I just can't wait to watch him get his ass kicked.
I don't want him to lose. I'm cheering for him, but I don't know. I just like maybe it's because I watch a whole lot of other sports. But when I think about like some athlete like trying to come back and it's been so long since they competed, like you don't really expect much that first time, you know?
Yeah.
Have you looked at the betting odds? Who's the favorite?
I do not know actually. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure people have
gamble.
McGregor. UFC betting odds. 100% sure. 100% sure that yeah they're gonna say yeah. Everything here says yeah they have picks for McGregor winning. Yeah,
Yeah.
McGregor is okay. I don't know shit about betting, but it's like
Is
he's
he
like
minus or plus?
minus 300,
He's the favorite. Yeah,
minus
McGregor.
400. That shit.
Yeah, if he's minus, then he's his favorite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
All right. So final question, NBA. So who do you have winning this? Like, because Toronto's not in Toronto anymore. Toronto sucks this year. Or what are they? Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay
They're
Raptors.
Toronto Bay Raptors. Toronto Bay.
Woo! Gotta hate Toronto.
uh Lakers, my friend. My guy LeBron. My guy LeBron. He's getting number 5. He's getting number 5. He's gonna beat Brooklyn in the final.
See, I like Brooklyn, but I'm also
Like he's gonna be a guy like beating a super team.
first of all he already beat a super team in 2016.
State. Yeah, of course, of course. But like like one that like was like more like everyone Golden State was drafted, whereas
Yeah.
this everyone plugged in. Actually, in Miami, Dwayne Wade was drafted, so really it was only Bosh and LeBron. But here, Kyrie, Harden, and Durant are new to Brooklyn.
And the Harden one hurts me a lot.
Oh yeah,
I need Harden to lose just like I don't feel just like I'm a diehard Rockets guy.
yeah,
I need Harden to lose so I feel safe, so I feel happy about the Rockets. But we're doing okay right now, so I'm happy.
yeah. I honestly think long term, like Houston should be okay. Like, look what happened to Boston when they got rid of Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett from Brooklyn. Do you remember that? Right, like
What
Boston
year was that?
picks and Brooklyn was garbage. So that's how they got like Tatum.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like that could be Houston because like what if all these guys opt out? They hate like what if they hate okay, what if they fail? They hate each other, they opt out. Durant like goes back to Golden State because they suck. Kyrie like goes to Mars because he's just like done with the earth. And Harden's like stuck there alone. Well then the team's like the trash. And so all of a sudden Houston's racking up sick pick after sick pick. And even if Houston's like a little trash themselves, and getting some good draft picks, like I don't know. I think honestly it could work out. Like I think we saw that Harden for whatever reason couldn't get over the hump. And their chance was at game 7 against Golden State when they went like 7 for 455 from 3. Like if they had just maybe if they just ran a proper offense that game or hit a few more threes, they would have been fine.
Chris
But
Paul was hurt. Okay, that's my defense. Chris Paul was hurt.
weren't paper mache hamstring. Like if he had actual hamstrings, then maybe they would have won. But like I think Houston's window had closed. Like that was it. James Harden and Houston together were not going to win a championship.
Yeah, but
What?
we have that new kid.
Have hope. Have hope. Rising up from the ashes of this. You got John Wall. Right? I like John Wall.
But we have Boogie too. I don't like Boogie whatsoever.
Man, Boogie's just gonna get angry and leave. Don't worry.
Yeah, Boogie's gonna knock out a ref one day. 100%. It's me, Mouse in the Palace.
If you told me like pick any sport, even boxing MMA, like name a sport where you think someone's gonna knock out a ref, Boogie Cousins up there, man. Someone knock out a ref. He's up.
All right, yeah. So you have the Lakers winning the whole thing, eh?
Yeah, LeBron, this is it. That's gonna be it though. He's only gonna get 5. I think maybe he goes back to the finals and loses to Brooklyn, or he loses to the Clippers or something, and like it's the beginning of the end. But I think he's got one more in him.
I'm done with the Clip. Like I don't like the Clippers in general, but they disappointed me last year too much. I have no more faith in them ever winning anything.
I don't know either, but I do believe in Kawhi, and so I wonder, like, let's say they falter this year, and then Kawhi's like, "Yo, I'm done with Paul George. He can't get it done." And like maybe someone else is disgruntled elsewhere, and then like Kawhi and like whoever else, maybe they get the Clippers over the hump.
Kawhi and Harden.
Man, like you never know who's gonna move, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, because no one thought like Harden was gonna leave Houston, and then this year he wore a fat suit at one game.
Dude, 100%, man. I don't know what happened to that gut. He just goes to Brooklyn and it's gone. It's gone.
I shit myself when I saw because I watched his last game in Houston. They were wearing blue jerseys. He looked fat as hell. I'm like, okay. And then he's in Brooklyn 2 days later. This guy's absolutely ripped. He's jacked. I'm like, no, this
Yeah.
is bullshit.
Yeah, man. Guy did some like pre-fight cutting or something. I don't understand. He looked so fat in Houston.
You know what Charles Barkley did, right? Like in Houston. So like this is a funny story. Okay, so he was promised like I think it was like 12 million or something for his last season, right? And they were like, no, we're gonna pay you 10 million or like 11 million. Like it was like a million off or something for a already like guy who's like 50 something million in his career. He was so petty over that. He skipped most workouts. He didn't follow his diet and gained a good like 20 pounds the entire season of just fat. Like you watched his last game in Houston, like compared to like his first game in Houston, the difference is hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Because this dude was literally he was so fat he had his own gravitational pull. It was that insane.
Right now, man. Remember when he raced Dick Bavetta?
Who?
He raced that really old ref. That ref that looked like a grandpa.
I
All-Star
don't know.
game is like, man, it was like 10 years ago, more, maybe 15.
He raced to the ref.
Man, he barely, like, I can't even remember if he won or the ref won or they tied, man. Like, it was bad. And I was like, this guy's like Hall of Fame level. Like, I could, you know, I'm born in 93, right? So I didn't really watch, like, I didn't watch Barkley. So it's just like so weird to wrap your head around that. It's like, dude, you used to be an elite NBA athlete and now, like, you're that.
Yo, I need James Harden's workout regimen though. Because like,
man, we all need that. We all need that. Just like, oh, we're going to Mexico? Okay, sweet.
cool. Give me like 2 days. Give me 2 days. I'll get ready.
No, literally, I swear he did it on the plane from Houston to Brooklyn. That was it. One workout.
Do you know how fighters cut weight? So how I've done it a couple times, like before some tournament, is you fill up a tub with Epsom salt, all that kind of stuff. And I'm working out in the tub. I'm like dying and stuff. And I did like a simple version. I see people go even crazier with that. Like they dehydrate themselves.
Yeah, like they're just spitting like all day, right? And stuff like that.
It's I can't fathom how people do that shit.
Dude, I heard a story someone died once trying to
cut. Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Like a couple people have died from weight cutting. Like a lot of like tournament stuff that they recommend, yo, don't weight cut, guys. Just don't weight cut. Just go like a little weight higher. That's not a problem. Yeah. Just don't weight cut because you'll die, and that's not fun. And that's pretty much it for today. So thank you so much, Harjas, for coming and talking to us and proving that you are much smarter than I am. We'll probably have you again soon when COVID gets worse or COVID 20, 21, 22 happens.
I agree. Hopefully not.
Yeah. And BrarHive, thank you so much for watching. And as always, stay hydrated.
Wear a condom.
And see ya.